Welcome into the Tool Shed, where we talk about everything that relates to home improvement and ownership. I'm Warren Seegers. Tonight, my guest is interior designer Chris Kramer, who is the owner of Kramer Interior and co-host of Mesure Twice on 95.3 MNC. Chris.
Warren, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome into the show. Big fan of your show.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So, how long have you been doing that?
The radio show? About 4 years.
About 4 years. And how did that all start?
It started, actually Joe Graber, who's the other co-host, had the idea.
Okay.
I hadn't even met him at that point, but he approached the radio station and said, I have this idea, and then my advertiser came and approached me and said, how would you like to do this 2-minute segment?
Right.
And I said, well, fine, that's what we do every day, talk about design and build, and took off from there.
So was it always you and Joe, even in the 2-minute segment?
Rob Perugini at the time was our MC.
Okay.
And so we started with him. We were with him for about 2 years.
Okay.
And then he left 95.3, and then Casey Henderson?
Yeah, Casey Henderson. Yeah.
Took over.
All right. Yeah, because you were on the show with him. He was on the show with you last week.
Yes. Yes.
So then it went from a 2-minute show to it's 30 an hour. It's an hour. Okay. Because I never listen to the whole thing, but when I'm out and about, going back and forth to the home improvement stores, 'cause, you know, you never go once. You buy something, come back, realize you got to go back again. So actually, I probably listened to more of it than I think.
Probably. Can I tell you the honest truth? I have never listened to a single episode.
How do you even know they're airing? They might just be saying, hey, Chris, we're going to produce these shows.
It's just one of those, I don't like the way I sound, so it's like I really have a hard time. They've played back some snippets when we're in the station. I'm like, do I really sound like that?
So how are you going to handle this show? You're going to have to listen to yourself and watch yourself.
That's even worse. I don't know. I don't know.
So, yeah, it's a great show. I like the combination that you have. You have a designer and you have a contractor. And I think the two it's perfect. It meets well together.
Well, it's obviously very relatable because one can't do it without the other.
Exactly.
So, or without the other.
Right.
I could not do what I do without a contractor or electricians or plumbers or subs. It just wouldn't happen.
Right. So now, do you and Joe work professionally then outside the radio show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we've worked on several projects together. As a matter of fact, if someone who has listened to the program comes in and says, I'm thinking about doing a bathroom, we'll give them a call and say, hey, heads up, this could be coming down the pike.
Okay.
So we meet with the client, kind of come up with the design, bring them in, and then they facilitate the design.
Right. So let's talk about your business, Kramer Interior. You've been around with the business how many years?
I've been in the design field for 32 years.
32 years?
Yes.
So how did you get into the design field? Is it something you've always wanted to do as a kid?
Oh, yeah. From the time I was in high school, I can remember you had to take this test to see what you were going to be good at as an adult. Yeah,
the achievement test?
Yes.
I remember those.
Yes. And I don't think that came out to what I wanted to do, but I knew I always wanted to do it. I did not take that direction right out of high school. I took another career path, hated every minute of it. But I stuck with it for 14 years because at the time, I got married, had kids, and you're kind of in a position where you have to work.
Yeah, you got to put food on the table for the family.
So, but an opportunity came up that gave me some time to reflect, and I thought I want to go back to school. So I went back to school, got my design degree, and the rest is history.
So where did you go to school at? Because you're from Fort Wayne?
I'm originally from Fort Wayne.
Okay. But
we moved here when I was a freshman in high school.
Oh, okay.
So I've been in South Bend actually longer than I lived in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
But Ivy Tech is the only school in the South Bend area that offers a design program.
Right.
So I went to Ivy Tech, and I graduated in '92.
So I think one of your employees, Tracy Major, she went to Ivy Tech also, I do believe.
So did my other designer, Mindy Meehan. She also went to Ivy Tech.
So Mindy works for you?
Yes.
So Mindy and Tracy, that was part of how we met because they were in the program there, and they actually came here and did a design for one of the rooms that we have.
Oh, that's right. They were talking about that too. Yes.
So
small world.
Man, if I would have known that, I would have taken that snippet from one of the Edifice Ventures and shown that. But they actually did a really cool design for what we call the greenhouse, with a fountain and stuff, and we're actually going to go ahead with those designs. I mean, it's been like, I think, 10 years since they came in here and did it. We haven't got far enough along to finish that, but we're getting closer every day.
It's like I tell people, life happens, you know?
Exactly, yeah. So let's talk about home design and what you do. Is it new homes? Is it remodels?
Yes.
A little bit of everything.
We work anywhere from blueprint stage through final construction.
Okay.
We've been doing a lot of remodels. Especially last year we did, I can't tell you how many bathroom remodels we did. And kitchens, I know Tracy's working on a couple kitchen designs right now, but remodeling has been really strong. But we're also working with some developers, condos. We do work with Notre Dame for Eddy Street. Condos for the alumni that are coming in and buying their units.
Is there any project too small or too large?
No.
No, so you take it all.
Take it all. You know, and I can tell people, it's not just about a full project. I mean, a lot of times someone comes in and they just need help with a sofa.
Right.
Or, you know, I'm thinking about a couple of chairs, but I don't know what I should do, where I should go with it, how is it going to work in the room. That opens the door for us to help them select fabrics, the right chair, the right comfort, all of the above. So it can be a single piece to a whole house.
Wow. What's the largest project you've done?
The largest project I've done? Oh boy.
Like a hospital?
Oh no,
nothing that big?
Nothing that big. That would be a little bit out of our realm, only because of this. That's really too big.
Right.
Because you're doing, you know, hospital rooms, you're doing lobby. That would be more geared for the commercial designer.
Okay.
We focus mainly on residential.
Okay. So how many people do you have working for you? Designers?
Designers, I have 2 other designers working for me, and that's Mindy and Tracy.
Okay, Mindy and Tracy. Okay. And then you actually have a showroom also?
Correct.
So if people want to come in and look at some ideas, you can help them and
yes,
design that. Awesome. So I want to ask you something. What do you think about those design shows?
The ones I no longer watch. I think they're okay. Honestly,
be honest.
I'm going to be very honest. They're not realistic. There's
Right.
nothing realistic about them at all. They don't. I mean, it's really easy in a half an hour to say, okay, we're doing this, and then the homeowner comes in and goes, oh, I love it, because they didn't.
That's the magic of editing and television.
Yes, but the realities are, do you know how long it takes to do a project that they show in a half an hour?
What, it doesn't take 2 days?
I wish.
Because that's what cracks me up. I was watching one today, and they gave them 2 days to do this house.
It might take them a month to make a decision on a countertop, because
Right.
you know, they're like, I don't know if I like this one, if I like that one, and so our job is to guide them, limit the selections, cut it down to maybe 1 or 2, maybe
Right.
3, and hopefully help them make that final selection, because most people can't visualize, and that's probably the hardest thing to overcome, is to help them see a finished product.
So before you actually go into their house and do anything, how do you get them to visualize what it's going to look like?
That's where drawings come in.
Okay.
That's where you have to literally, you know, sit in this sofa. You know, here's the size. Here it is on paper. This, if it fits on paper and we have it the right scale and all the measurements right, it's going to fit.
Right. Do you do anything with CAD where you can give people a 3D walkthrough?
You know, it's funny because Tracy was just talking about that the other day. We downloaded a free program so we could experiment with 3D. We do have CAD.
Right.
So we can do elevation drawings, floor plans, space planning, or whatever. But that 3D is becoming really important.
Yes.
Because that gives you the ability to see your space 3-dimensionally, as opposed to just a flat surface.
It's kind of like the sonograms with the babies now. You can see actually what the baby looks like.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They didn't have that one. I mean...
No, I'm sure, did they even have that when we were?
No.
I don't think so.
They didn't even want
They just listened for a heartbeat and went, yep, you got a baby.
And they didn't really want to do ultrasounds unless they absolutely had to,
Right.
when my kids were. Of course, that's been almost 40 years ago. So
Right. So, yeah, technology is amazing.
all the way around, it's just, even in our industry, it's just amazing.
Because I would imagine if you met with someone, you could actually do all the plans and you could just email them.
Oh, yeah.
A link that goes to, and they could do a 3D walkthrough, and you could maybe even chat with them online. And
you can. I prefer not to do that.
And why would that be?
The more hands-on you can be with the client, the better off you are, because it builds your credibility. It builds a trust with that client, and trust is critical.
You know, I have to totally agree with you, and I'm from the old school. I would rather meet someone face to face to get to know them. I mean, technology, you never know who's on the other end if you never meet people.
Well, and to be honest, I think email is great for sending photographs or maybe a quote, but you really need to pick up the phone and talk to that client, because they need to hear your inflections, they need to hear your passion,
yes.
your excitement. To move it forward, because if you just email back and forth, it's just completely flat and lifeless.
Exactly. You got to build that trust. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to bring you a video that we played last week, but we had a lot of technical errors and it didn't go over very well. On Thanksgiving Day, we had Dan Gann, who was with the VFW Post 360, and he talked to us about his Backpack for the Homeless program. And we're going to bring you an update with that. And bringing you the update is Elkhart Area Career Center's student, Shayna Mullins.
Saturday, January 11th was cold, rainy, and the forecast for that night called for frigid temperatures with freezing rain. Weather conditions that reminded the volunteers of VFW Post 360 why they were coming in on their day off to fill backpacks for the community's homeless. Post Commander Dan Gann appeared on the Toolshed's Thanksgiving night show to announce they were accepting hats, gloves, blankets, snacks, and hygiene products to put into the backpacks. Last year, they passed out 125 backpacks.
Are we done with these over here? Yes.
And this year, their goal is 250. So, where did they distribute the packs, and how long did it take to pass them out? Gann explains.
We hit the downtown public library in South Bend, okay, which is the St. Joe County Public Library. But we also went to Our Lady of the Roads, and we sent 2 vans out there. We gave everything away within a couple hours.
While the rest of the volunteers continued stocking the backpacks, Jeff Linkey was on a separate mission.
So I'm driving down to Between the Buns in Osceola. They were kind enough to put a box in their foyer to help collect donations for our backpack drive. And hopefully there's a full box of items waiting for us to pack up.
This stop would have something other than a box filled with donations.
Do you guys have any donations?
We actually got a cash donation.
While cash donations are not necessary, they do help to buy items that are rarely donated, but always needed.
We go buy a thing of plastic bags to bring.
With the purchase of the baggies, volunteers can fill another essential need for the homeless.
What we are doing is pre-wrapping handy wipe packs for backpacks to give out to the homeless.
We take for granted the fact that we can walk in somewhere, use running water. We have running water. You'd be surprised how much a simple thing as a baby wipe is highly important to them.
Once the packs were filled, the post commander shared his gratitude for everyone that helped.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out and helping us give everybody else a leg up.
If you would like to make a donation, visit the VFW Post 360's Facebook page for more information. I'm Shayna Mullins for the Tool Shed.
All right, thank you, Shayna. That was a great report. We'll bring more reports on that. That's kind of like one of my pet projects. You probably don't know, but I'm in the Army Reserves still today. Unfortunately, I'm supposed to be retiring. I'm not sure what's taking so long. You know how the government is with paperwork. So I've turned my packet in, and it's floating somewhere in government cyberspace. So one of these days I will be out of the Army. But I joined the VFW in Mishawaka there, and it's just one of the projects they're doing. And I thought, a home improvement show, homeless, there's kind of a connection there. We're thankful for what we have home. So I've kind of taken that project underneath my wing to keep the community informed about it.
That's a great project.
Yeah, it is. So, they're doing really well. Last year they did like 160 some bags, and they want to do over 200 this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, let's talk about what's the hot items for design.
The hot items?
Yeah, like colors. Right.
A single item.
Sconce is still big, like Christopher Lowe, everything with a sconce.
Oh, God. No.
No, sconces aren't in?
Not like he had them in.
Right, yeah.
As far as what's trending now in design is, it's really hasn't changed much as far as furniture styles. Everything is still in this area transitional to contemporary. There's not as much traditional out there anymore.
Oh, okay.
I think that's nobody lives that way anymore.
Right.
That
traditional, that would be
Chippendale, Queen Anne, mahogany,
right.
that formal high sheen.
Right.
Everybody has a more relaxed and casual lifestyle now.
Because they actually want to use the
stuff. They actually want to live.
Yeah, right. Don't touch that, kids.
Yeah, the china and the china cabinet. Right. None of that is in any longer. As a matter of fact, you can't even find that style much anymore. Everything is transitional, contemporary, clean lines, just easy living, a lot of textures. We're finally starting to see the grays kind of wane a little bit, and the warmer beige tones are starting to come back.
I wish you wouldn't say that. You see, in our house here, we're going with the grays, and we probably won't have everything painted for another year and a half, and then I'll have to paint it all again to beige.
Keep in mind, that's just, okay, trends keep you spending money.
Right.
Because you're always wanting to update and keep things fresh.
Right.
Grays aren't going out. I don't think they'll ever really be out, but we're just starting to see a shift, mainly in fabrics, but beiges work well with grays. So,
I like the gray walls because me personally, I know people pick these really wild, bright paints, so that just might be those designer shows I watch on TV. But to me, I think I'd rather have a wall that's a little bit more subdued and let my personal belongings, my art and everything pop out more. I don't want a big, bright wall that takes away from my actual artwork.
Right.
So.
It should all complement. I mean, it really one shouldn't take center stage over the other.
Right.
So if your wall color is too strong, it will overwhelm or overpower the space. That's not a good combination.
Right. So wallpaper.
Yep. It's in.
It's still in.
Oh, yeah. You should see some of it. We don't call it wallpaper.
What do you call it?
Wall coverings.
Wall coverings, oh.
Because it has changed. It's no longer just paper.
Right.
We have wood veneer. We have fabric. We have grass cloth is huge as far as wall covering. There's patterns in grass cloth. There's some absolutely incredible wall coverings.
And so it's not like grandma's.
Oh, gosh, no.
Yeah. So, here's my story. I call wallpaper wall divorce papers. Because if you ever try to do wallpaper with your wife, it's probably going to be divorce wallpapers. We made it through it, so I know that we have a strong relationship.
I used to do it on my own. No. No.
Yeah, I just...
I can't.
I'm sure it's easier now, but I just remember we were doing it. I'd be like, hold that away from the wall, and she's got stuck, and then we get the wrinkles, and
you're trying to get them out, and you got the ball.
No. I'm just totally anti-wallpaper since then.
We use a little of it. You don't see the whole house wallpaper like you did back in the 80s.
Right.
It's maybe a bathroom as an accent, or maybe an accent wall. Maybe you're doing a foyer area, but it's not the entire
whole room. What about paneling? Is that still dead? Did we leave that in the 1970s?
I haven't. The only paneling I've done is what we call architectural paneling, like wainscoting and things of that nature. But not,
it doesn't look like paneling. It looks like another type of wood.
Do they still sell that at Menards? Or?
They still, can you believe it? They still sell paneling at Menards.
Because I guess I just never look at it.
I don't know who would use that. My parents did their whole house.
Oh yeah.
In paneling, because that was the craze back then.
Oh yeah, it was easy and easy to put up.
Right, and you had those little things that covered up your mistakes when you cut it wrong. You know? So.
But no, we take that out.
Yes, you take it out and put the wall coverings in.
That's right. Or we can put wall coverings right over the paneling, and don't do that, folks. I'm just
that brings up a good one. So I'm helping some people do some remodeling, and it's not a house; it's an organization. It has a lot of paneling, and the suggestion was to paint the paneling.
It actually can work well.
Convince me of that one, because when they said that, I was like, no.
It depends on the paneling. If it's that,
this is like the traditional dark wood paneling with the big.
But it doesn't have any wood grain, so it's not actually a wood, not like a cedar or anything like that.
No texture or anything like that. It's flat.
Then all you're going to get are these grooves coming through your painted wall, and I do not like that look personally. That's personally speaking, I do not care for that.
I don't care for it either. That's just ugly.
Now, painted cedar paneling is beautiful.
Right.
Because you still get that texture coming through.
Right, exactly.
So that's worth it if you want to lighten things up. And I've even seen it where it's been washed. So it still gets the wood grain coming through, but it's a little more translucent.
Right. Okay.
So, and that's a beautiful look.
So do you ever use like the cracked paint, this paint that makes things look old?
No.
No. That's kind of like the designers on TV kind of thing, isn't it?
Do they do that on TV?
Yeah, you should. You got to watch some of these design shows.
I guess I need to catch up.
It'd be a comedy for you. You'd get a lot of laughs out of it.
Some of it makes my blood pressure go up a little bit, but
the one I was watching today, of course, now this was a design show that was in England, so it's the Brits. Maybe that is in style there, but it was ugly.
Everything was crackled paint.
Well, they were doing crackle paint. They were doing silver and gold leaf. I mean, the wallpaper, where they had one type of wallpaper, real flowery, and then like Art Deco on the other wall. It was total gaudish looking.
I could not handle that combination.
Well, after the show, we're gonna lock the door and we're gonna make you watch. No, don't do it. So anyway, I want to say hi to a couple people that are out there watching. Hey, Dan, thanks for watching. Tracy, I think you know her.
Oh, yeah.
And Kevin, thanks for watching. Ethan's doing a great job. And Marla, thanks for watching also. Always appreciate it. And I think we're going to take another quick break. We're going to do an EVH2. That's where I come into, I pre-record these, but I show people how to fix something. And today on our Edifice Venture How To, or EVH2, it's how to fix a mailbox post after your kids hit it by sliding into it during the winter seasons. Enjoy. Hey, welcome into another Edifice Venture How To. In this episode, we're going to take on Old Man Winter and teenage driving. Well, sorta. We're going to fix something that was caused by those two. This mangled post box pole is a direct result of wintry roads and the inexperience of a teen driver. As you can see here, this post took a pretty good hit. I choose not to reveal the name of the driver to save them the embarrassment of this common seasonal incident. And yes, I said seasonal incident. This is the second winter in a row that I've had to put the post back up. And I expect 4 or 5 more years of this to happen with all the kids I have in the house.
To get this project on the road, or the pole, you'll need a wood chisel, circular saw, square, pencil, tape measure, hammer, file, and a drill. Step 1. Assess the damage and decide if the post is worth replacing. In my case, the post was fine, but the mailbox mount and support needed replaced. Remove all the hardware from the post. I chose to do this because of a few modifications I plan to make, and once it's set, the post will be just a little bit off on its height. I'll put everything back on after the post has been set to ensure the address and especially the reflectors are visible, although the reflectors didn't stop anyone from hitting it before. Step 2. Get measurements of the parts to be replaced. I am replacing the mailbox mounting beam, which is 27 inches, and the angle support. The original angle support was 6 inches. I am extending the new support to 20 in hopes to make it more resistant to automobile strikes. Step 3. Transfer your measurements to your material and cut to length. Before you run out and buy new wood to make the repairs, look around your house or ask a neighbor if they have any scraps. The 4x4 pieces I'm using were leftover end cuts from my deck project, keeping this project within my desired budget of $0. To add a little design to the mailbox mounting beam, I measured and marked a line 1 inch from the end all the way around. Then I used my skill saw to make a 45-degree angled cut, leaving a nice finished beveled edge. Cutting the angle support was less difficult. This was a scrap piece that I had lying around, and it just happened to be 20 inches long. Hey, sometimes you get lucky like that and you find a scrap that is exactly what you need. The only thing I had to do here was mark a 45-degree angle on each end and cut. Too easy. Step 4. First, I removed the old broken mailbox beam from the post. It's a small but important detail. You'll need to make several cuts to depth into the mailbox support beam in order to connect the post. Make a line 4 inches from the end. Then lay your post on top of the mailbox beam, making sure all edges are lined up. Trace the cutout portion of the post notch to the beam. To set the proper depth of the blade, adjust the blade so that the teeth set on top the bottom of the post notch, and the saw base plate is flush with the side. Then tighten the depth adjustment knob. Place the beam so that the traced outline of the post notch looks like the letter U. Make a cut on the left and right side of the U. Keep cutting the beam at 1/8 inch intervals until you have nothing left but thinly sliced wood pieces. Once complete, knock the slices out with a hammer. Clean out the leftover larger chunks of wood with a chisel. Then use a file to smooth completely for a better fit. Step 5. Put it all back together. Set the mailbox support beam notch into the post notch and attach them together with deck screws. Place the 45-degree angle support post between the mailbox mounting beam and post. Make sure both are flush and drop 2 deck screws into both sides. Bada bing, bada boom, you're done. Hey, if you like this video, be sure to check out our YouTube channel at WSeegers2 or do a keyword search for Edifice Venture. And be sure to subscribe to us and also check out our Facebook page and like us there too. And we are back. So you had said something, you mentioned the Property Brothers while we were in the break. So what's your favorite show?
My favorite show?
Yeah.
Of the Property Brothers?
No, just of any of the shows on.
There isn't any.
There isn't any?
Buying Hawaii?
You know, I don't understand. There are these shows that are out there, and it's like the Property Brothers and like the real estate shows, but it's always houses that are like $2 million. Who buys those things, and why do I want to watch it?
Yeah, I mean, it's all I keep thinking is, what do these people do?
Exactly.
I mean, it's just like, even for, you know, they're talking about even on these, you know, the Property Brothers, oh, this house is $795,000 and it's 2 bedrooms and a bath. You know, it's like, what?
Where?
Where?
That's
I don't want to live there.
Oh my goodness. So what did you watch the original This Old House?
No, but that's Joel from, that's his favorite.
That's a great show.
95.3, my Mesure Twice partner.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he loves This Old House.
You know why I like This Old House? Because although, who was the guy that hosted? I can't think of his name.
Don't look
Bob Vila.
Oh, yeah.
Even though Bob Vila never lifted a hammer or a screwdriver in the whole show, at least he did go and talk to people and have them explain what they were doing. So you got some information out, what they were doing. These shows now, it's like they never show how you do it. It's just like before, after, and they edit it all down in 30 minutes.
Well, then you see the finished product, and everybody's watching, going, "Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful! I want that table." Oh my.
Right.
The reality is that furniture is brought in.
Mm-hmm.
It goes right back out. It's not part of the plan.
and I guarantee it's probably a sponsor too, that they want people to see that, and then people go look for it. What do you think?
It was, they want you to buy it as the homeowner, but I was reading an article of the 35 most faked shows on TV, and they had the Gaineses, and they said he never lifts a hammer or a saw until the camera's on.
Really?
After that, he puts it down, he walks away.
That's not a real man. Come on.
It's not even a real show.
That's crazy. Well, hey, we're a minute over.
Uh-oh.
We're already at the end of the show.
You can make this an hour.
Oh, we could, very easily. So, we were talking during the break. We're going to have Joel, you, me, and maybe I'll visit you over at on your show. But definitely want to have you back. It was a good time and a good talk, and appreciate you showing up.
Yeah, I enjoyed it very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Well, that is all the time that we have. I do want to thank all of our affiliate Facebook pages for posting the Tool Shed every week to their page. Go ahead and give them a little social media love. Check out their page. Give them a like or two. Be sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next week, DIY until you die.
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.